we're passing our boxes to these guys, pulling them. We get back towards the exit and the hoist is there. So right on time, hoist is waiting for us. Johnny goes first and he decides like, hey, I'm gonna dig it out for you more, make the gap bigger. I'm like, oh great. I was pretty tired, so I was just chilling. He's digging. Is the cage here? I guess it has to be if Craig's here. All right, so Johnny, get in the cage and I'm gonna kick with my feet because there's not much room anymore. There's like big ass boulders right here.
Yeah, those you can.
Shit, the roof's falling. And then he kind of says, hey Brent, come now. The roof is collapsing.
I know. I told you don't touch the roof, it'll collapse on you.
Which, knowing the history of that level is not what you want to hear. And it turns out, as he was digging, instead of making it bigger, more stuff was just collapsing and actually making the space smaller and even more dangerous. And so I shove the boxes through, he gets them, and then, I couldn't record this obviously. For me to get out, I had to squeeze as small as I could go, and I couldn't even put my hands up because that would have been too much. So my hands straight at my side and just kick with the heels of my boots to push myself back up this ledge and hope that I don't touch any of the rock overhanging because it was collapsing on Johnny. And so it's just like, what a way to end the adventure, just kind of snaking my way back out of this thing. Gonna take a quick peek down there, see if anything's down there. Probably not, but only one way to find out. So, geared up. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. It is a dead animal. Ugh, I just landed right on it.
You what?
Oh God, dude, they're all dead animals. All these things are dead animals. What the f is this? Oh, I think I breathed some of it in. Oh, what is that thing? It's just like a dead animal pit. I'm going back up. This. Anybody that knows Cerro Gordo knows that there's 3 main ghosts around town. And probably the most famous among those was a guy named Alphonse Benoit. Alphonse was a woodcutter in a neighboring camp. And the story of his life is a little unclear, but what is known is that he was murdered in one of the mines surrounding Cerro Gordo. What's debated is whether he murdered somebody first and his murder was retribution, or he was just a stone cold killer. The most common place that Alphonse appeared at Cerro Gordo was in the hotel. Numerous parties, all independent of each other, would report seeing a man out the back left window of the hotel. The old owners even had a photo of the apparition that they would keep on the front desk in a photo album to let visitors look through. I think the last time Alphonse was seen was only a number of hours before the hotel burned down. The caretaker, Robert, was giving a tour, and the visitor he was showing got freaked out because they saw an apparition out of the back left window. When asked what he looked like, they described just what people had described before. I know the story of Alphonse, and if he's not able to stay at his typical haunts anymore, he may return to the mine that he was murdered in. So tonight, we're gonna visit that mine and see if there's anything there. A local historian who I trust deeply told me the mine that he believes Alphonse was murdered in. We're now at the part of the night, to be honest with you, that I've been looking the least forward to. The hunt for Alphonse. I explore mines all the time, but exploring them at nights is something else. And particularly given the history of this mine, I don't love being here. But again, if the point of tonight is to push the limits of what I'm comfortable with, that's what we're gonna do. It's just what you want to see, right? Coming in. This is the rope that I was told is hanging from the ceiling. And I was told never to go past it that way. Guess today's the day, if any. It's completely still back here. It's just rocking back and forth. I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's the time of night, if I'm tired, if I'm expecting to see certain things, so you do, but man, that was the closest I've ever think I've. Did you see that? I don't know if it's me looking into the lights for a long time and looking out. That's the closest thing I've ever seen to. Dude, no. No. It's time for me. It's time for me to go to bed. I need to get out of here. I don't like this. I even just saw someone like walking over the track, like this, like just almost like a little cloud hovering over the track. No, let's get out of here. We're done. It's enough Alphonse hunting. I think for me, the inciting incident, the first time that I ever moved out of the firm non-believer camp was just over a year ago in the bunkhouse here at Cerro Gordo. And the bunkhouse is an original building that was built in 1900. It's a long building with a long hallway in the middle with 3 rooms on either side. And this particular day, I was walking up to see the sunset. And to get to the best sunset spot at Cerro Gordo, you have to walk right by the bunkhouse. And as I was approaching the bunkhouse, I noticed somebody open the lace curtains in the kitchen, look out, and close them. And the light was on in the kitchen. And at first, being a rational person, this didn't bother me at all. We had people coming to the property to work on it, so I assumed they were just still here hanging out. So I went about my day. I went up and I watched a beautiful sunset. I came back down, went to bed, and pretty much forgot about it. And I remember in the morning I woke up and I was talking to Robert, the caretaker who had been there. I said, "Hey Robert, how long are the contractors staying?" And he kind of slowly turned to me and he was like, "They left 2 weeks ago." And I remember that feeling and that incident really specifically because my heart just dropped. It was one of those things where I know I saw somebody look out the window. I know the curtains moved. And I know that nobody just happens upon Cerro Gordo. And so, being a rational person and still trying to be very pragmatic about it, I went over there, I turned off the light, I closed the blinds, felt for drafts, I didn't feel any, and I put a padlock on the door, a lock that only I have a key to. And I went about my day, forgot all about it, and that night, a sunset came. I decided I was gonna go watch the sunset again. So I started walking up the hill towards the bunkhouse, and the light was back on in the kitchen. And it was just one of those moments where your heart stops, and you just say no out loud to nobody in particular. And I remember I went over, I unlocked the door, I went in, and not only was the light on, but the switch was back up. And I was the only person in the world with a key to that building. I know it sounds unbelievable, but the light was back on, and so I decided to investigate. I started walking down the hallway to see if maybe anything was in there. And I remember as I was walking down the long hallway, each step, I kept getting this overwhelming sense that I shouldn't be there. And it's a feeling I had never had before in my life, and I've never had since. I remember by the time I got to the back 2 rooms, my skin was just pins and needles, and this overwhelming voice was just saying, "Run." And I did. I ran back out of there, and haven't really been back to the bunkhouse very much since. It really has an energy to it that I don't love. I think it's a beautiful building structurally, but it's just not one that I enjoy spending time in. I tried to renovate it to lighten up the mood. You know, I ripped out this old carpet, I painted the walls white, I tried to cleanse it in every way that I could, but still when I go in there, I hear things. I hear footsteps, I hear voices, and my way of handling it so far is just not to go into the bunkhouse. You know, there's 20 other buildings here. I can find places to have my own peace. So that was it for me. That was the kind of first incident that I couldn't explain.